best thing to do is put food in people's tummies. Always a good backpack. So we're going to do that first, and we'll give everybody a little bit of a chance to eat. And then once we're pretty far along into that, then myself and a few of our speakers will jump up and get going. So please enjoy some good food, and we'll talk with you more very shortly.
I don't know, I mean, technology really got One more at that, and then we're there. Should we get around all the way down. Why that? I was afraid of it.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'll let you drive. What's going on? I know this place real bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's so good. Sunflower. Oh yeah.
I'm actually here now. Last 2 years, yep. No, I was in Dallas there for a while, and then Boston right here. I like that.
There you go.
Get one up for the 12 boom and then one whole hang and then they come back.
That's a nice right in the middle. First reaction was turn inside out. Yeah, every day. Oh my God. Did you get there?
This way.
Things are like that. Okay.
Executive Director of the Hardrocker Club here at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. And we'd like to welcome you to the 15th annual Hardrocker Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Thank you for being here today. Champions are not made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them. A desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have the skill and they have to have the will. But the will must be stronger than the skill. That was Muhammad Ali. And I think we have some people that we are inducting today who certainly have the will. Today is going to be a fun day inducting folks. I'd like to say thank you as we start off to our good friend Paul Gnirk for helping sponsor this Hall of Fame ceremony. This has turned into an absolutely fantastic ceremony because of his support. I'd like to say thank you to Tiffany McCampbell, our Senior Associate Athletic Director and Senior Woman Administrator, for all of her work with the logistics and putting everything together, as well as Michelle Chickus, who's our Program Director with the Hardrocker Club. She put a lot of time and effort and energy into this as well, so thank you to all of you. I just want to recognize a few people that we have here today from the university. Our President, Dr. Jim Rankin, is here. Our Director of Athletics. Our Director of Athletics, Joel Lucan, is here. And the Executive Director of the Alumni Association, Larry Simonson, is here. With that said, we're going to have a couple of people come up and give you some opening remarks. Why don't we start, please, with Joel Lucan.
Thanks, Kevin. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2018 Hardrocker Athletic Hall of Fame. So, a mathematician, an engineer, and a physicist were traveling through Scotland when they saw a black sheep through the window of the train. Ah, says the engineer, I see that Scottish sheep are black. Says the physicist, you mean that some sheep are black? No, said the mathematician, all we know is that there is at least one sheep in Scotland and that at least one side of that one sheep is black. That was supposed to have been funny, right? Must be all the engineers and scientists that got that, right, Barb? I got to tell you, I was honored and humbled on June 2nd of 2014 to start as the athletic director of South Dakota School of Mines. I joke, I haven't worked a day since, but that I really truly mean that. I hope that you all can find something in your lives, you younger individuals here, the coaching you coming up here, you find something that you love. I truly love what I do. I get to meet everybody, from the past. You come back to campus, I get to congratulate you all, and we're truly making a difference, I believe, in the world by graduating leaders in science and engineering here at South Dakota School of Mines. I too need to thank several individuals. I can't do my job without these people. Kevin is one of them, obviously. Tiffany McCampbell, our Senior Associate AD and Senior Women's Administrator, who helped organize all this. Anita Brenneman, who handles the tickets and the ramps for me. Jen Buttle handles our compliance. Brian Hardy is our Assistant AD of Athletic Medicine. Michelle Chickus, who helps Kevin in the Hardrocker Club. Dr. Simon, Dr. Gnirk, for your support. And of course, we can't do anything unless the top of the pyramid supports the athletic department. And thank you, Dr. Rankin and Dr. Rankin, for your support. You'll see, I want to give you a little bit of instruction tonight. You'll get a ramp pass if you haven't already gotten it. Please park into the ramp pass, or park into the ramp spot. There will be a tent to the west side of the Dunn press box. That's where our presidential tailgate. Everyone that's here is invited. You get it. You got another meal coming on us here this afternoon, and you're welcome to stick around there and watch the football game from there. You're welcome to go into your ramp spot and have fun in the ramp spot. We're playing Simon Fraser tonight. If you don't know where Simon Fraser is from, they're from Canada. They're the only NCAA Division II school in Canada. So congratulations to our 2018 Hardrocker Hall of Fame class, Steve Olwin, our 92-93 women's basketball team, our track and field star, Shannon Reed, builder Paul Gnirk, and of course, Coach Felderman. Thank you for coming, and it gives me great pleasure right now to introduce to you our 19th president of South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, electrical engineer in 1978, Dr. James Rankin.
Thank you, Joel, and welcome everybody. Glad to have you here. I am so impressed reading the credentials in the program and the achievements that you've had. I graduated here, but I did not partake in the athletic program. The closest I had was freshman PE with Dept King. I'm not sure I got any better at PE, but I learned some colorful language. It's just amazing like I say, the credentials that you've got, the achievements you have. I mean, it's tough enough to graduate from the School of Mines when you're just a student and not participating in athletics. So for you to be able to excel like you've done and earn a degree from this institution is just really remarkable. I'm not sure if your families and those that are here supporting you realize what you've done to get through in that particular area. So just congratulations, because the time skills, knowing how to study, knowing how to practice. Joel tells me that an athlete that we have will spend about 85 hours a week doing various things, from practice to games to studying, and just, I mean, that's 2 full-time jobs, so it's really a great job. Anytime a president comes in, they're always wondering, what do they think about athletics? And to me, athletics is very important. It really is, as Joel would say, the front door to the institution as we try to work with the city. This is how we connect with the city. This is how we connect with our students. This is how we connect with our alumni. So athletics is really important to this institution and to every university. I hope you realize that as you get a chance to connect more with us and Wendy and I, because we really love coming to the athletic events, and it really does set the table for the rest of the institution. I'm wondering how many years before we induct into the Hall of Fame one of our new esports athletes. You know, we have a brand new athletic team in video gaming. And after the football game tonight, they're going to be playing on the big screen against Simon Fraser. So we'll have to see how long it takes for us to find a Hall of Fame athlete in these sports. But let me end by saying congratulations to all of you. This is a great ceremony and a great tribute to all that you've done for the institution. So thank you.
Dr. Rankin, thank you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your support. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. That was Vince Lombardi. I believe that. I've actually used that in my travels through athletics as well. We have some folks in this room who've already been inducted into the Hall of Fame. If you are a previously existing member of the Hall of Fame here before today, would you just please stand up and be recognized? It starts at mine. That is very true, isn't it? Something else I've heard is a favorite quote of mine is, tradition never graduates. And it's very good to see folks coming back and supporting us. So thank you for being here. If you haven't already read the program, if you haven't already heard us, we are inducting a few folks today. Shannon Reed from track and field, Paul Gnirk, Steve Olwin from football, the 92-93 women's basketball team, and certainly Barb Felderman. Barb, I know that all these halls of fame are getting to be a little, they're all mixing together for you. So we appreciate you coming back. One last quote for you, and then we're going to start our presentations. Steve Prefontaine once said, "To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift." And the folks that we're seeing today certainly laid it all out there for the South Dakota School of Mines. I don't know about you, I'm extremely proud of these folks. I'm extremely proud to be in some way, shape, or form related to them through this institution. So thank you everybody for being here today for that. We're going to start off with our first presenter, Jerry Schaefer. Will you please come up? Jerry will be presenting Shannon Reed.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame luncheon, and especially congratulations to the inductees today. I have the privilege of presenting Shannon Reed. Shannon was a tremendous high school athlete in South Dakota, probably the most recognized high school hurdler in the state. And she came to us, kind of came to us by surprise, because she had a full ride at USD, I believe, and decided that wasn't for her the first weekend. And so she joined us in the fall of 2005 and began competing in track in 2006, and spent 2 years with us. Unfortunately, she was not going to be a scientist or an engineer, so she did transfer after 2 years, but she had a tremendous career for us, and an equally tremendous career for that other university up the road. But Shannon actually was a 4-time All-American for us, 2-time national champion in the 60-meter high hurdles indoors and 100-meter high hurdles outdoors. She was a pleasure to coach. I've got notes written down here, and I've already gotten off screen. Shannon was a person that was very humble, is very humble, and she came to us with a lot of success, but she was still willing to be coached. She came to us with great skill and great coaching from high school. Her high school coach provided a tremendous basis for her success, and there was very little that I did as far as trying to help her be a better hurdler. And but she took those 1 or 2 little tweaks that I asked her to change, and she turned those into tremendous success. When she graduated here, actually had 9 school records. I think I miscounted when they asked me for the information that went in the program. She had the school record in 60 high hurdles, 60-meter dash, 100-meter high hurdles, 100-meter dash, 200 meters indoor and outdoor, 400 meters indoor and outdoor, and the 400-meter intermediate hurdles. She still holds to this day 6 school records: 60-meter high hurdles, 60-meter dash, 100-meter high hurdles, 100-meter dash. Excuse me, not the 100-meter dash. 60-meter hurdles, 60-meter dash, 100-meter high hurdles, 200 meters indoor and outdoor, and the 400 meters indoors. So still holds 6 records after 11 years now, is it? So, it's quite an accomplishment, and we hope to see those records broken soon. One of the other things that gives me great pleasure is that I stepped down at the end of this year as the head coach after 33 years, and Shannon was able to step into the sprint hurdle position, and so she's going to continue with School of Mines as a coach. And I'm excited to see what happens. So enough of my rambling. Shannon Reed.
As Coach here could probably tell you, I'm not much of a talker, so I'll make this really quick. Thank you for the, yeah, everything. Great. He told you a little bit about how I started, and I can tell you he worked quickly to make sure I got into classes, and the second I stepped on campus here, I always felt like him. So, excuse me. That hasn't changed, and here you are full circle as I am here as a coach and being inducted to Hall of Fame. So thank you. Speaking of being the black sheep, I was not an engineer, but I never once felt like I didn't belong here. Not just on the track team, but in all of athletics and as a student. So I'm proud to say that I started my career here and glad to be a coach here. Also, I want to thank my family. They have never not been by my side. If they all could be here, there would be not enough room for anybody else, but I picked my favorite ones. So. My grandma, my aunt Lori, my mom and dad never missed a meet. They've always traveled. I'm sure some of my family got sick of being stuck with me and all changing plans so they could come watch me run. I'm sure my little brother would be, he always got pulled along to all the meets. So. And then lastly, I just want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for just giving me this honor and considering me among so many great athletes and individuals. So, thank you.
You are always part of this family. We are glad that you're here. We're glad that you came back for serving. Next presenter, Larry Simonson, will be presenting Paul Gnirk. Oh, he's done?
Ken Reed, I think.
Oh, Ken, well, sorry, that's the information I have. But guess what? Ken Reed, you're presenting Paul Gnirk.
I'm quite certain this is the first presentation that I will make, and will probably be my last. I've had the privilege of knowing our next inductee since I was a teenager, delivering his newspaper, paying for his breakfast the other morning reminded me of the travails I experienced at that time, at the end of each month, trying to collect the $2.35 for delivering that newspaper to his door at 107 Franklin Street. All kidding aside, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our next inductee into the Hardrocker Hall of Fame. Growing up in the 1950s, Paul graduated from Burke High School in South Central South Dakota. He came to the School of Mines with aspirations of a collegiate wrestling career, something I just learned. But after one season, Paul, the big hurt Gnirk, realized that wrestling wasn't going to be paying the bills, and besides, it was rumored that pretty boy Bobby Heenan was gunning for him. So, he turned his attention to academics. He graduated in 1959 with a Bachelor of Science degree in mining engineering. From 1963 to 1965, he served in the mining engineering department on campus and earned his PhD. And that degree was bestowed upon him at the University of Minnesota. In 1996, along with advanced studies, he also got advanced studies in rock mechanics and applied mathematics. So this guy, 1967 to 1973, he was a member of the faculty of the mechanical engineering department here at the School of Mines. During that time, he co-founded with Bill Reuter, Floyd Matthew, Earl Hoskins, and Jim Russell, the consulting firm Respec here in Rapid City, and served as its president from 1969 to 1992. He served as president of our Alumni Association from 1999 to 2000, and as the executive vice president until 2013. He has been a member of the Industrial Advisory Board on the campus for mechanical engineering since 2004, and he was conferred the position of Professor Emeritus in the Mechanical Engineering Department of the South Dakota Board of Regents in 2007. He has also served on the South Dakota State Board of Water and Natural Resources since 2009. He has been a staunch ally and an out-of-the-limelight kind of supporter of the Hardrocker athletics for many decades. He has religiously followed Tech football and has attended every Hall of Fame induction ceremony since it began with Tom Bush 15 years ago. I don't think many of us can make that plan. Now, some of you might think that that this is the most colorful athletic supporter that you've ever seen. But I would beg to differ and offer the name and persona of Dr. Paul Crease as the claimant of that title. My wife is currently appalled. In the category of builder, it is my distinct privilege to introduce Dr. Paul Gnirk as our next inductee into the Hardrocker Hall of Fame. Dr. Gnirk.
Say a few words. Sure. Well, I can tell you for a fact that this is outstanding. This is something I never expected, and I'm just real. I entered this institution 63 years ago, in 1955. And in those 63 years, apart from 4 years at the University of Minnesota, 2 years at Rice University, 2 years at Respec in Albuquerque, I've been in and around Rapid City, this campus, with Respec for 55 years. And in about 55 years or 63 years, seen a lot of wonderful things happen on this campus. And I did spend 1 year, 1 season as a wrestler. And that was back in the days when we didn't have a very large department in athletics. In fact, there were 3 coaches. There was Doc Goodell, he was the athletic director, and Bob Hunt was in basketball, and Claire Franklin was football coach, and Harry, whatever his name, was downstairs. And the old gym, I don't know if you've ever been in that old gym. It's it has elevated all the way around. You could sit in the balcony on 3 sides. And the balconies were right over the nets where you shot the baskets. And the students loved to be on those perches. And then when they played teams, some of the teams were very upset at the language and the different things that these students would do when these people came in driving into a layup. But anyway, so that's what made it take PE and for 3 quarters or something. But it was in November, and I came up the stairs for PE class to that building, and there was a sign up there that said that they were going to set up, we're looking for people that want to be in the wrestling program. And so I signed up, and we had a meeting in that building, and I think there was like 30-some people showed up, because that was after basketball season. We were sitting right around the corner there, and Goodell told us why we started the program. And then he said it was going to be really tough. We really had to work hard because it was strenuous. And then, and I remember this exactly, he flipped up on his hands, walked over with his hands underneath the basket, came back to the center of the floor where there was a rope hanging to the ceiling. And he spun up, grabbed that rope, and went all the way up with his hands without using his legs, and came back down. It was a dead silence. The long and the short of it is, of the 30-some people there, only 22 showed up for the regular practice. And we had 22 people start. We ended up with 11 people, wrestlers. We wrestled, I think, at maybe 10 different locations. We wrestled South Dakota State University twice. We wrestled Newcastle High School twice. It was quite a team. You know, Chuck Spees was on the team, and he used to come back for the football game between the alumni and the varsity, and he kicked the football all the time. You remember Spees? Earl Hoskins, who became later the department head of mine engineering, was on that team back in those days. But anyway, we had a perfect record, perfect team record. We never won a contest. And so at the end, and I think in all that, I don't know how many times I was in, I suppose I was in at least 75% of those matches, but I only won once. And in fact, the last time I wrestled, we wrestled South Dakota State University, the varsity, and they came here and we wrestled in the pit, in the old gym down there. And I remember that very clearly, and these guys from South Dakota State were really, really well muscled and strong. And I remember standing across that mat looking, and when Goodell sent me out there, he said, "All right, Gnirk," he said, "you can take that guy." So I did. The first period, I didn't get flipped down, and by the second period, that's when you start, and one person's down, I was behind him. The third, and I was probably behind in points. And then the third period, I was on my 4 hands and knees, and he had his arm around me from that starting position. And Goodell had taught us how to get out of that position, you know, because you're down here over the side, and the first thing you do when that whistle blows, you bring this arm back, and hopefully you're going to get the guy in the nose. And then you spin around, you know. And it worked. I've done it before, you know. This time, we're saying, I'm going to flat my back there. And so then you begin to bridge, because I had never been pinned in any of the events that I participated in. So what you do, your feet are on the floor, and your head, and between your head and your feet, you raise the rest of your body. It's called bridging. And this guy was just really strong. He had bad breath, too. And up in the stands, and above me was all these students were up there in the balconies. And they were yelling, "Go, go, Gunner!" That was my nickname back then. Go, yelling. And I saw this one guy, and I was straining, and this guy leaned out, and a big bluebird came out. Which was not unusual. Came down, and God, I turned my head, you know, and I didn't hear a hit, but this wrestler said a string and obscenities. So that was my career. So I did want a letter, you know. I lettered into sport, and back in those days when you graduated, you got a leather piece of leather, stamped on there, and it was signed a lifetime pass to all events, athletic events at the school mine. And Kelly got one, and Larson got one, and I got one, and Dublin, if Dublin was here, got one back in those days. Mine's in the Hall of Fame right over here. Because that's when I gave it to Brudebush, and he said, "Now you're in the Hall of Fame." What was that, about 6, 7 years? Anyway, it was great. I had a great time here, you know, and talk about Dept King. I knew, of course, Dept King. I was teaching back then. And that was an interesting time because I come over and talk to Dad, and we had football team, basketball team, and track. No women's sports at that time. Maybe they was getting ready for that. Camden was the basketball coach, Boner was the football coach. But anyway, Dad said they're having trouble with mathematics. And so I said, okay, I'll do some food. And So I started tutoring athletes in mathematics and over in mechanical engineering. On a couple nights we tutored in calculus. And I had, that's probably done it for a couple of years, I can't remember anymore. But I had some really good students. Bruce Badmockeson, who's a basketball player, who's in the Hall of Fame, was one of my students. Dave Berg, sitting over there, past president of the Alumni Association, was in that class also, and many more. And I had a great time. It was good. So then, later years when I was back and I was with the Alumni Association, I got to know Tom. I came to these functions in the Hall of Fame, and I think after the first or second one, I talked to Tom, and I said, "No, how's this being supported?" And he said, "Well, they have to pay their own way to the lunch and everything." And so I said, "I want to help out on that." And so I said, I helped out, and a couple years later, I said, "Well, let's include the families and all that." And, but now I make it, I support this, and I truly support this. And I can tell you that there's enough money to put away after I'm gone to support this for a long, long time, this whole thing. So I want to thank you all so much. It was so great. It was a great run. It was 63 years, 55 years here for everything, all the students I've had. And a lot of football games, basketball games. Barb Felderman was an outstanding when she was here. And I got to tell one story, but Barb was out there. I always watch her, you know, and the girls, the young women out on the floor, you know, and it always looked like there was a spirit out there playing with it, you know. And it was Barb, you know, the spirit. But then you look over, and there's Barb raising hell with the referees, you know. So she was in two places at the same time. It was really great. Thank you all. It was great. It was a great run. I appreciate it. I look forward to many more of these functions. Thank you.
Paul, great job. I think I have the next person, right? Bob Morcom, you are up to present Steve Olwin.
Don't worry, Steve, I don't have support. I first want to thank Steve for giving me this opportunity to not only introduce him to this Hardrocker Hall of Fame, but also recognize him for a very outstanding career. But before I do that, I'd like to recognize his parents, Richard and Marilyn. If I remember right, you traveled to every football game throughout Steve's entire career, coming from Los Alamos.
I don't think we met all of them, but we did a lot.
But the story is you did. And that was all in an RV, and that's a lot of miles, but they flew in for this one. I'd also like to recognize his wonderful wife, Madeline. Madeline, she couldn't be here because of the prior commitment, but I'm sure her spirit is right here. Now, most of you recognize Steve for his accomplishments on the gridiron, but my relationship comes from a different playing field. Although I graduated from Mines in 1974, I met Steve in early 1975. Dr. Larry Simon told me there was a student that wanted to do some skiing. As I was working as a professional ski instructor of America, teaching at Terry Peak, I was always excited to work with someone new that went to Mines. Finally met Steve. He nonchalantly said he had skied before in high school and wanted to do some ski instruction while finishing up at Mines. Never really highlighted anything about his playing football. So my first impression of Steve, 170 pounds, athletic, young Burt Reynolds lookalike, and I had no expectation one way or another of how accomplished skier he was. But I quickly learned after the first run with Steve that he had underplayed the skiing experience, and not only knew how to ski, but in the industry we say he can bend the ski because he was a highly rated junior racer in school. Steve was one of the most accomplished skiers I've ever had the pleasure to work with. He had incredible power, balance, and quickness that allowed him to really move the ski up the snow and dissect the snow. He has demonstrated a humble tenacity that helped him become a level 3 PSIA certified ski instructor, a PSIA Northwest Division technical team examiner and clinician. a level 3 rating with the United States Ski Coaches Association, and head coach at the Stevens Pass Alpine Club. He is well recognized in the PSIA for his abilities, and if there was a School of Mines Hall of Fame in skiing, he'd be at the top of the list. But if anybody knows anything about ski instruction, you do have to have a day job. Steve is a licensed professional mechanical engineer and has used the building blocks and core values of very supportive parents, a wonderful wife, skiing, football, school mines educations, and other accomplishments to promote an outstanding 38-year career with Olwin in Seattle, Washington. He has an impressive resume as a platform, vehicle configuration architect, doing system design and analysis. He's currently an aircraft configuration architect working with the 737 commercial line and 787 vehicles. As I reviewed Steve's resume, it really is hard to summarize the full depth of his expertise. There are many references which indicated classified program. As I said to Steve, if you really told me everything he did while at Boeing, I'd probably have to be put in the witness protection plan. Now for Steve's recognition into the Hardrocker Hall of Fame. At a playing weight of 170 to 180 pounds, you'd think he was a wide receiver, safety, or running back. By witnessing his balance, quickness, and power he showcased on the ski slopes, you can clearly understand how he became one of the hardest hitting offensive guards in the conference. Dave Dutton, current member of the Hall of Fame, who played with Steve and lives in Spearfish, told me recently that in practice he was challenged every day taking on Steve. As pound for pound, he was the strongest and hardest hitting lineman he ever faced. He was also an outstanding leader. Steve's many accomplishments on the gridiron included 4-year letterman, 1976 and 1979, 2-time All-STIC offensive lineman, All-District 12 selection. His football career was capped off by being named All-American Honorable Mention, Hardrocker of the Year, and Honor Student. Besides that, he's a really great guy. It is my honor to now introduce Steve Olwin.
Well, that was pretty impressive. Let me just say, I'm overwhelmed. To be considered for acceptance into this family took me quite by surprise. I have to apologize to Joe. When the call came, I made him repeat it, I think 5 or 6 times. I was just having trouble shoving that concept through my reality here. So it was really quite a surprise. So thanks to Joel, thanks to Kevin. Kevin came out and met with me and spent some time out of his busy schedule. That was wonderful. I want to thank the Hardrocker Athletics. I want to thank the faculty here at the School of Mines. More importantly, I want to thank every man and woman here at the School of Mines that holds on tight to the values that are part of my experience when I was here. And that's what I took away. So I moved into town, nobody from nowhere, right? And I meet Larry Simonson, doctor, college professor, right? And I'm saying, what is this guy caring so much about me for? To find out that I'm a skier who can't afford to ski anymore. Hooks me up with alumni at Bob Morgan. Immediately takes me into his family, takes me under his wing, and sparks and inspires a whole skiing career for me. So I'm wondering, where am I? How did I get to a place like this, Toto? So I met my wife here, and she's a fantastic woman, and is the best person I know. She always does what she believes is right, regardless if that fight is to put somebody ahead of her or not. So like I said, I'm thinking, how did I get here? So in terms of coming to the school, being a forward thinker I was at the time, I had a 5-minute conversation with a buddy of mine. We were going to go to Denver Automotive, and that was all I needed to do about thinking for the rest of my life. Well, my folks got wind of that, and they said, hey, look,
go to the school lines out here and play football for one, right? Just go try it. And the reason they knew about that was Coach Gary Boner recruited two very talented people from my high school, Los Alamos, a running back named Lex Zerwas and a quarterback, Herb Stokes. And I remember game film, Lex Zerwas, he's trying to run off tackle, and there's no daylight. So he spun around. He's trying to run around the right side, no daylight. Spins around again, makes it all the way back around the left-hand side. I don't know, scored dozens of yards around there. In the game film, he's trying to, while he's doing this, he's trying to shove his mouth guard back into his face because it had come loose. There's some talent. So when I got here, I struggled with football. All that I had wasn't cut, it wasn't enough. So that's kind of frustrating as a school lines person. So I worked on it a lot harder over the years. And I remember playing with the folks in this room. Rick Voss, Guthrie, Dutton, Long Bonds, Butheris. The guys, they'd ask Butheris, what does he want to do every week? He could play like 5 positions better than anybody out in the field. So they just said, well, you choose, and they organize the whole game around him. And Long Bonds' pregame in that old building Paul talked about was standing in front of the lockers and beating the living tar out of the lockers. And the lockers would be banging off the wall. And so in football, you didn't need the left side of the line with Bob there. You just needed Bob. Don't go over to the sidelines, read the paper, and have a Gatorade. So, and I mentioned a career that Bob sparked was skiing, and those values that you have as the core of the university here. So I ended up coaching ski racing out near Seattle. And I ended up as head coach of the team, one of the teams out there for 3 years. I coached for many years. And there was this young gentleman that came quick coming to training. Right? So several weeks later, he starts coming to training, and all of a sudden he's busting his tail, working on stuff for the team, working on his racing, working on getting his skills tuned up. Years after that, his mom came to me and told me. And when he came back to practice, I just went over to him, shook his hand, my name, and said, nice to have you back. That's all I did. And so his mom told me years later, he was headed down the wrong tracks, the wrong people, and they were worried about him. And he told her about that day. And so those values that you people hold tight here, School of Mines, that man's life pivoted on those values. And that's how important what you do here is. A little later on, I had a guy coming up through the exam situations to be certified. That guy was, and God is helping me out. He's doing his exam on the hill on one of his examiners, right? As an examiner, you're supposed to be poker face. Don't tell him how to do it, right? And after you do your thing on the hill, you ride up the chair with the examiner and they grill the heck out of you. All kinds of questions and put you on the spot. Well, this young man's performance was bigger than that, bigger than the exam, bigger than me. And so he got on the chair, and I just asked him, so what do you want to do in skiing? He's like, that's this exam. And so I had to break down and say, look, whatever you want to do in skiing, you're going to be able to do. It's only going to be limited by you. That man went out of that exam, passed it, passed the rest of his exams, went up through the region as a commission, regional team member, and the highest levels at the national team. And so those are those values that you guys are here in school. So I ended up going to work, and nobody that comes to Tech does just the sports, right? So we have to have an academic career as well. And as far as the football goes, my love in football was hitting people. So that was back when you used your head, right? So my joy was the stars that you see after a particularly big day. So if you notice in the picture back there, the light poles for the field were just outside the sidelines. So I like special teams more than most because I got a longer run to hit people. So I ended up having to beat on a guy who's running back kick or something like that. Now, with the school of mine's fundamentals, you can't hit somebody that's out of bounds. That's a cheap shot, right? So I had to hit him before he was out of bounds. So I launched and missed him and hit one of those poles. Broke my helmet, right? And I do not remember the last half of that. So I'm going into the huddle. And Rick Bloss is one of the guys that I played with in this community. He's moving my face mask off my face, saying your helmet's broken, you need to go out and get it taken care of. And they said I got mad at him. I don't remember any of that. So I suffered from stingers all the way from high school through college. If you haven't had the pleasure, it's excruciating pain for about a minute. Pain goes away, shake it off, and you go find little people to hit. So the last one of those I had was in my career here at the School of Mines. Had the pain went away, and I was numb, not the left hand side of my body. So I'm getting an education here, I'm supposed to be wise enough, right? Maybe time to see the doctor. So I go see the doctor, and they use whatever imaging thing they have at the time. And he comes out, because I have now the values are starting to transfer to me from the School of Mines, he comes out and he looks pale. He looks sick. And I never related his sick look to him looking at the train wreck I made on my neck over the years. So I said, "What's wrong with you?" He walks by and he says, "Sternly, you are done with sports for the rest of your life." Yeah, when you're 20 years old and invincible, that is nowhere near an acceptable answer. So I didn't think much attention to that. Anyway, on to the education piece. So I've got Boeing on the phone. I'm getting my degree here, right? And Boeing says, "Hey, we want you to come out here and design this new air-to-ground missile for us." And so I don't have my degree yet, so I don't have to embody all those integrity and truthfulness and all that stuff that's part of the core values here yet until I have a degree, right? So I'm not going to tell them the truth. I'm not going to tell him that I can't spell air-to-ground missile. They got the wrong guy. So all I could say was, don't you have people at Boeing that design missiles for you? It's Boeing, isn't it? So anyway, I grabbed that exceptional woman who had accepted a proposal for the rest of our lives together, ran out to Seattle to design up a bunch of great things. So years later, I was working down in Los Angeles for Boeing on a classified satellite, and here I was struggling again. Struggle. So I couldn't make it work. Something nobody had done before, some technology that was new, and I just couldn't make the satellite design close. So months were going by, and it wasn't going to work. So the values again that you guys have are transferred to me. So I convinced the government to stop the whole program. We got to reconfigure the satellite because it's not going to work the way it is. And it was Christmas break. So over Christmas break, they agreed with me. Over Christmas break, they stopped the whole thing and allowed me to come in and reconfigure the satellite. So after that, it had a shot of meeting its requirements and working. And I remember the customer saying, "Where'd you get that?" Came out of that struggle. So one of my coworkers who's been working with me for years turned to me and said, "What drives you?" Isn't that a great question? What drives you? So there's two tracks you can take if you want to move on. Management, technical. At the top of the technical ladder is the technical fellowship role. So I was at the middle level of that. In a ceremony like this, and they're parading people up and off the stage, And my wife and I are sitting at a table similar to where you are. And there's the people on the stage are going by doctor this, doctor that, patent this, patent that, publish here, publish there, president of this society, president of that society. And my wife turns to me and says, and she swears she'd kill me if I was telling you this. She swears she didn't say these words because she pours herself into everyone around her like Larry Simonson pours himself out into the school of mines. It's amazing. I found her here, by the way. This is what I heard. By the time it bounced around my smashed up brain, I heard, "So what are you doing here?" That'll ground your boat in a hurry. So I was just checking to see who was nearby that might have heard something like that. And second thing, making that jump. So at any rate, the core that you have here at the School of Mines is what I fell into and what changes people's lives. And I'm here to tell you, it changed mine. And so what drives you cannot be what's in your wallet. It has to be what's in your heart. Thank you so much for that experience with the people that are here. There's no words. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
So you loved me at this school? Good job, Steve. Right, again, I think I have this correct. We have the 1992-93 women's basketball team to present. And Barb, we're going to have you do that. Please come on up.
When I was hired here, I was hired as volleyball and basketball coach. And it was a little bit hellish recruiting. When we first started, the uniforms were shared by the volleyball and basketball team. They were a triple knit that was so heavy you didn't need to put the weight vests on because you could just use those. And I'm sure they're in the landfill somewhere still. But I had to make use of my resources, like zero recruiting money, to recruit double sport athletes. And so that's what I did. And the volleyball seemed to pick things up a little bit faster and started winning some tournaments and stuff. And finally, I got a bunch of pieces that worked together, and this group was kick-ass. And they started the decade of dominance, or the era of greatness, decade of dominance. So, ladies, would you come up, please? We had a real good time getting together last night. It was so good to see these guys, and it's been a number of years. They are so tight that they've gotten together several times, rented a house somewhere or whatever, and just reminisced. And there were some pretty good stories going around again last night, so I think they want to share a couple of those. But this group turned the women's basketball program around. We started to win the conference championships instead of being that darn runner-up thing. But it's because of their will. A lot of times in recruiting, you know, I couldn't get the top talent. Sometimes I did. And I looked for kids with heart, kids with a little spark in their eyes. And these guys had it. They did not like to lose. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about records or any of that stuff, but these beautiful young women.
Very young.
Have sterling careers, and I'm just so proud of them. I'm just a happy mama. And I want them to just kind of introduce themselves and say where you're from, and kind of what you're doing now. If you've got a little something, okay? I think you know Lori.
I'm sorry. I'm Mara Johnson. I'm originally from Florence, South Dakota. And I'm actually finishing my PhD in biomedical engineering here.
Hi, my name is Maria Fossum. I was back in the day. And I was blessed enough to find my husband here. And I'm back here in Rapid City. I have an industrial engineering degree. And I just truly want to say I guess maybe when you hit this age in life, you kind of reflect a lot more than you did back in the day. And I just want to tell everybody what a true privilege it is to be part of this program, this legacy, to be part of this with all these women, because it's something. And that's something nobody can take away from any of us. And it's just a blessing and a privilege. So thank you, ladies, very much.
Hi, I'm Leah Novicki. My main name, and I was privileged to meet my husband here I know. So this group is just a wonderful group of ladies. I mean, like Coach said, yeah, we didn't like to lose, but we like to have a lot of fun too. And so, I mean, that's part of it, the network here and going to the School of Mines and not only getting a great degree, but the family. I mean, we're family. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you'd call me tomorrow and say, Leah, need something, you got it. School of Mines, you're 10 grand, you know. That's how tight everybody is. I mean, it didn't just have to be in the women's athletic, although we got a little tighter because it was, what was it, 10 to 1? 10 guys to 1 girl, so we tended to get together a little more and be like, oh yeah, another woman on campus. So you really take away from here what the school gives you, and it is that family and Larry and just Carter, looking at all the faces out there, people that they give you a leg up. If you would call and say, yeah, I played basketball. Okay, what's your degree? I'm a civil. Oh, cool, so am I. I'm a double E. Not a double E, but I know somebody that can help you out. You know, here. No. Or even some of the men that you graduate with. I mean, you all keep in contact and see what each other's doing, and you share that success. So not only as a team, like everybody will say, this is an awesome group of ladies. I mean, that are tremendous in their professional careers also. So it was a privilege to play with you guys. And on to our next vacation. I don't know if Coach scarred us or brought us together as a family, but we get together in 5 years and rent a house and reminisce. And I'm like, oh man, if you can ride in a, what was it, 12 or 15 passenger van together and not kill each other, you can vacation together, right? So congratulations to all of you guys out there. It truly is an honor to be up here in the Hall of Fame. I think that does it. In our program today.
Erin Sheehawk. I am in Dallas, have been for the last 20 plus years now, and have been working in consulting for the last 10, 15 years, various areas, innovation, pricing. A little bit of everything, but I can't say anything better than these two ladies did, so I will not even try. But I appreciate you all very much, and I love to see you. You all look fabulous. Like you're 22 yet.
I'm Paige Hilton, and I graduated with a community degree, and definitely had a great time being a part of the Lady Hardrockers program. Over the last several years, I've had the chance to come back to School of Mines and recruit with my previous company, and it was always a lot of fun to come back, see all the faces, and also see those new faces of students that are graduating with engineering and science degrees. So very proud to be part of that, and again, just happy to be part of this group up here. It's a fabulous group of ladies, all having lots of great success within their lives, and just proud to be a part of it. Thank you, guys.
My name's Callie Spicer. I also met my wonderful husband here. He played basketball. My maiden name was Gilman. We lived in Wyoming for many years, and Lori asked me last night to tell my story. I almost was not a School of Mines attendee. I was going to Dakota Wesleyan. Yes, that pains me to say that. It pains me. I was going to Dakota Wesleyan where my dad went, and he kidnapped me, and I mean honestly kidnapped me to come here on a recruiting trip. We fought all the way to Kadoka and then didn't speak the rest of the way back because I did not want to be an engineer that drives a train. That was our joke. He just felt that this was the best school for me, and it was the best academic school, and I met the two coaches, and I don't even know if Aaron and Steph remember this, but they took me out for pizza, and Aaron had just transferred in, and it was a done deal. I met with Dr. Fish, Dr. Goss, Dr. Bryson, and she had them lined up, and let me tell you, I was ready to sign when I got done. So this is an amazing school. This group of ladies, wow, it doesn't get better than that.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm Stephanie Law. I'm originally from Yankton, South Dakota. I currently live in McKinney, Texas. I work for Emerson Electric. I do various things, business processes and systems. This has been a great experience. Best friends forever.
Hi, my name is Karen Bullitt. I was a Janavy here on campus, and I'm very excited this afternoon to get to see my nephew Connor play football. And we have two other of my nephews that are also on campus, so it's very cool to see the next generation coming up through here. And one of I've been working at Rockwell Collins since I graduated from Tech, and it's been very focused on teamwork, and I know everything I learned about teamwork is up here. So, thank you, ladies.
Hi there, I'm Beth Stafford. I was Beth Kramer here on campus. I'm also from Yankton, South Dakota, so I followed Aaron and Steph from the east side of the state to come here. It was really a no-brainer. I always just knew science was where it was. I'm currently down in Austin, Texas, working for Cirrus Logic, which is a semiconductor company. I was at TI for a million years before that. Yeah, there's really nothing else that can be said. We get together and it's like we don't miss a beat, and you know, again, everybody's here for everybody all the time, and we've been through quite a bit together, and I look forward to many more years of togetherness.
Hi, my name is Darcy Schweitzer. I was in Berkland. I was a JUCO transfer from Williston, North Dakota, and I was 19, and I was told that I had a phone call from the coach at South Dakota Tech. So I walked into this little room, and she's talking to me, and I'm scared, and you know, I would say within a few minutes she says, "So, I hear you have a honey." And I think the rest of the conversation she was recruiting my husband. So she kind of got a 2-for-1 deal. Yeah, he practiced with us. It was a really good deal, so yeah.
Hello, Lisa Wiesler Christensen. Originally from Polo, South Dakota. I now am in Fargo, North Dakota, working as an engineer for Microsoft. And if you would have told me that graduating from high school, a kid from Polo, graduated from Miller, would be working for a billion, trillion, whatever dollar company, working on software that millions of people use every day and trying to make their lives better, I would have like, yeah, whatever. But I think a lot of my success in work and personal comes from spending the better part of 5 years with Barb and Lori and all of these wonderful ladies, friends for life. So I'm just very thankful of the time that I've gotten to spend with them, even if it did mean climbing on a van at 10 o'clock at night, covered in ice, loading up everybody's bags in a box. But memories you'll never take away. That you can have a lot of fun.
Carriers that went the whole length of the passenger van, and then, you know, after a while, you heard how unstable these vans are. Well, we that's a terrible drive. These guys, they won the conference the year before, and the playoff system back then, we were a District 12 NAIA member, which meant you had to play through all the NAIA schools in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Montana, and be the best school out of that group to advance, which sucked, because Northern State and Northern Montana were the national champs, back-to-back, fighting back and forth. And we hit heads all the time. Our last game, Sept and Darcy were the seniors. We beat University of Mary here, and that was tough. We got on the bus and took off to Havre to play the next day. We got there on a Sunday. We played on a Sunday night. So, you know, we went to church like we're supposed to, and we're sitting there, and they said, well, we got some guests here. Where are you from? And I said, School Mines, we're playing Havre tonight. The minister actually said, well, we're glad you're here, but too bad you're going to lose. That's what warmed me. But they told us it was going to be packed, and it was packed. Karen and Jim, you had to sit on our bench with us because there were no seats. And Darcy, I think your parents, I don't know how they finagled a seat, but it was all of them against us. And oh man, we battled. It was a great battle. And they were a little bit back on their heels, and we hung in there till about the last 2 minutes, and then they couldn't miss a three. They were, you know, one of those games. But I was so proud of them. And I always felt so bad for Darcy and Steph because they never got that national experience. The first year that the next year when we went to nationals, they said, where have you guys been? I said, well, does Northern State and Northern Montana ring a bell? So it was, you know, because of the system, but they're wonderful people, and I love them.
It is a good day to be a Hardrocker, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, if you're not proud of these ladies and proud of this program overall, you got something. Bravo. All right, last up. I have this right. Larry, you're coming up, right? Larry Simonson, please come up and present Barb Felderman.
I don't know how I can follow that, but I'll try a little bit. Prior to 1981, I'd never heard the name Barb Felderman. Actually, she and I grew up within a half hour of each other, and I'd never heard of the name. She was a little bit younger than I was, I guess. But there was one day in 1981 where Dept came up to me and says, would you be on this search committee? We need to hire a coach for volleyball and basketball. So I said, sure. I think that was the last I heard of the committee. The way Doug King ran things, he decided everything on his own anyhow. But it was theoretically on the committee that hired Barb. So it really changed the culture, I think, here. She was obviously the first woman's coach that we had, or the first female coach that we had, because I think Bob Hunt coached the teams prior to that. So I just want to relate a couple of things. And Barb brought a lot of culture that exists today. I think she's responsible for a lot of that. And she worked at Doug King, which was not probably a very easy job for a long time, but she persevered there. So I just wrote down a few things that I think that will really highlight this. She certainly had the passion, you can see that. from the gals that are here. She is a life mentor to these gals, not just a basketball coach, but a life mentor. And I think you can just see that, you don't even have to say those words. And she taught the players to embrace the fans. They were very close to the fans, and that was very important. So that's how they got to be very close to some of the professors that they talked about, and so on. And Dean Bryson was very important to your team. And by the way, he's would love to see you this afternoon. He's in town, but he wasn't able to be here. But if you want to go and see him, I'll share that with you. Barb was rather critical of officials once in a while. And one of my bottom lines, or one of my thoughts is, you know, she would let it be known that she wasn't very happy with some of the calls. I will swear, if Barb had her way on every one of those calls, we would have had 32 years of undefeated teams. And the officials were oftentimes wrong. But you kind of wonder, where did she get that spirit? Well, you don't have to look far. You know, there's kind of a saying about the acorns don't fall far from the oak trees. If you ever knew her mother, you would probably know where she got that spirit that she has. And I remember one time we were in, I think it was this room, it was, then you like this, and she said, has anybody met my mother? And some people said, yeah, I met her, and some said no. And Barb's comment was, if you haven't, you will soon. And so her parents are obviously very strong supporters of her. They came to so many games. I remember seeing them in the national tournaments and things like that. They were very supportive, as were Lori's parents and everything like that. But there's one story that I remember quite well, and it was at a game. This is absolutely a true story. I might have a couple of words wrong, but it's not more than that. Barb got a technical foul. It turned out to be interesting because the official beat her up and everything, and she went to the official and said, it wasn't me, it was my mother. And that's true. And I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but the official removed the technical foul. Isn't that correct? You remember that? And then the topic was the next sentence that came out of Barb's mother's mouth. It was real quiet. Does everybody remember this? It was very quiet, and Barb's mother had a shrilling voice, and she said, not only can't you see, you can't hear either. Absolutely true story. I don't remember which year it was. But Barb went to school at Northern. I didn't know that at the time, but she went to school at Northern. And she never really, she mentioned Northern University being a pretty good basketball team. I'm not sure she really liked the school after she left, at least some of the coaches that were there. But there was one game 7 years ago that I remember really, really well. The school lines was 0-3 on the season. Northern's coming to town to play the Hardrockers. And they have all these tall, blonde-haired girls, ponytails, and they're all, I think, 6 foot tall. And the game started out pretty good for the school Lions. They were up, they were leading, they kept going. And their coach, I think his name was Kurt Frederickson, probably still there, he was livid. He would get up and he would try to get his girls to play better and everything, and there's nothing they could do. And in the second half, he sat down the bench. There was nothing he could do, just sat there. The school Lions won. I checked this morning. It was on November 19th, 2011. They won 79-56. They just slaughtered them. They just slaughtered them. You remember that, Barb? That's the one game that I really remember. I remember games in Sioux City and everything too, but that's one game that I really remember. So I think all of us affiliated with Hardrocker Athletics, old Barb Felderman, just tremendous amount, more than we could ever express. So Barb, thank you so much.
To write my speech down. I like to kind of get up here and wing it, but it's kind of important. I want some things to be made known, and it's been all about the kids. I asked Larry to introduce me because he was here helping school lines day one when I walked in. He continues to help school lines. he is Mr. Mines, and right now, he's helped get the women's and men's basketball team to the max scholarships. So, you know, not him alone, but I mean, it's cool because we struggled for so long with scholarships, and now we got it. I want to introduce my little group over here. I told my nieces and nephews and all their kids they couldn't come. They could just have a little bar party because they'd be all over. But my cousin Joanne and I are the same age. We grew up together. She's as close as I get to a sister. And I nickname her Amy Schiller. She's got the wit. Her husband Reed. And then the guy in the front row here is my little brother Gary. He was my first teammate, and we used to play catch together. His hand still hurts from playing burnout with me. And his wife Ruth. But my other brother Tom, they had a death on the other side of the family, and they couldn't attend. But I have a great support, and Merle and Donna were something else. I want to congratulate the other inductees. I've been here those 15 years too, and it's a thrill to hear the impact that Mines has had on you. The heartfelt summaries of their careers and you know what they've learned, and it's really a cool knit family, and you can feel it. I want you to know that I am one blessed woman. God has been so good to me, and we don't live in a vacuum. I didn't do it by myself. I had lots of help, some great assistant coaches along the way, and started with being blessed with the parents that I had and growing up in the farm, where we learned to work hard and play hard. My dad loved sports. He was played on a runner-up and championship basketball team when there weren't classes, before there were classes. So he got us started. He was a farmer, so even after a long day of being on the tractor all day, he'd come out and we'd beg him to hit his flies and grounders. And we spent hours out there doing that. Either it got too dark or my mom screamed to come in and eat, or she'd then put the damn food away or whatever. Dad also took us up to the barn in the hayloft, and we shot hoops up there. And it was, by the time you get the pigeon poop out and the grain pushed away, you still had to be kind of concerned about your game, because right below the hoop was a grain chute, and it could swallow your leg up pretty fast if you didn't watch where your leg was. My mom was a fun-loving, gregarious cheerleader and a vocal barometer. You could kind of tell by her voice. In fact, she did get me a technical once, and how I wish Crazy Donna and Mellow Merle could be here today. They'd be so happy, and they love their Lady Hardrockers. When we went to those national tournaments, she knew more people from across the country. Barb, have you met these people? She just loved life. We didn't have girls basketball, or we didn't have girls sports in high school, but we did have summer fast pitch, and fast pitch was awesome. I got a taste of competition and a taste of winning championships, and loved it. I got to college, and there was a whole new world then, because they offered a sport during every season. So I jumped in. I played field hockey, volleyball, basketball, and track. And I had knee surgery in December. The competition on a real team, the camaraderie, it made you feel so good. And while I was putting into these sports, I was getting so much more out of it. And I loved the way athletics was molding me. And so it was then I decided I want to be a coach. And I wanted other people to experience these life-changing happenings. God blessed me time and time again wherever I relocated in teaching. I coached at every level, from kindergarten to Division I, and everything from t-ball to gymnastics to men's tennis. And I was at Ball State, had just got my D1 dream, and I got this call. I said, oh, hey, we want you to try out for this, apply for this job we got out here in the Black Hills. It was Doug King, and that was his congenial way. Those of you know, and that's exactly what he said. And so I tried for about 2 weeks, trying to decide, and I made the right decision. When they hired me, they told me they didn't care if we won. What? That wasn't my expectation. Although there was no recruiting being done and we didn't have much for scholarship, you just dig in, you find those lights in those eyes, and when recruiting came around and you talk about engineering, oh, I don't know anything about trains. Truly. And back then, the women were either teachers or nurses, or they weren't going to be engineers, but I found the right ones. As the first woman coach at Mines, you weren't just a coach. You were a teacher, an athletic trainer, bus driver, laundry manager, janitor, psychologist, cheerleader, scheduled games and referees, and even had referee clinics. Had to help them all I could. Tournament director, travel manager, recruiter, mom, and much more without a full-time coach. And driving all those miles in that silver bullet van, 2 sports, during the worst part of the season, I just thank God I never killed anybody. We would get to the game, and that was secondary, getting the game and coaching. But then we had to load up and drive all the way back. And I scheduled as tough as we possibly could. There was one time we were coming back from Denver, and I swear to God, the wind blew us like 4 feet across. It wasn't my driving style. I did hit one street sign, no. I knew you were going to say something. My first 13 years, I coached both sports, and I loved it. And it was a crazy time. My first volleyball assistant, Mary Gold, helped me get things going so well, and we had so much success in those 13 years. I don't know how many championships, I don't know. We just put our head down and go for more. And with that success, the seasons extended because you had playoffs and stuff. And I can't tell you how important my assistant, Coach Lori Cole, was. I would get done with volleyball practice, and she would have them all fired up, warmed up, and ready to go. And it was never just an assistant coach. She's a co-coach. Basketball was our life. And everything we did was geared to it and making our basketball team better. Our passion for the game led us to choose the model that we wanted, and it worked. We had some good stuff and good kids. Early in the playoff system, I mentioned, the playoffs, and the volleyball was the same situation. We get to the sub-district playoffs, which meant we got to go play the district championship to go to national. For years, we would just hammer and hammer. We could not get that title to go play at the National Volleyball Tournament. It was on the 13th year there, we're coming back, and I was driving, got home at 4 in the morning, and we had our first basketball game at 2 the next afternoon. I didn't know what colored ball we were playing with. And it was then I decided I got to give one up. And it was a hard decision. And I still love volleyball. The team that got inducted today got us going. And they have the morals, the values. They have set the standard. And the rest followed. That's why we were successful. It was the team. And again, it goes back to that recruiting. It was difficult. When most coaches are looking for talent, I was looking at ACT scores. And a lot of times they're not published in the roster, so you have to go home and make the calls, you do investigative work. You look in the stands for genetics. Who is she? So it was hard. We didn't have the internet. And then would they play for a couple $100? Did they want to be an engineer or a scientist? Boy, a lot of those popped up, didn't it? I'm really proud of what they've become as a result, and hopefully they've learned and carry this on to their jobs. I talked to a couple of you last night and have reiterated that it has. And in these glass ceiling times, it's really helped. We were family. We had an awesome fan base. We packed the gym, and the environment outside, if they wore their Lady Hardrocker jackets to McDonald's, the little girls, Mom, there's a Lady Hardrocker. That's cool. That's really cool. And we tried to touch everybody in the whole community, except those at Black Hills. I can't tell you any scores, I can't tell you any records, but I can tell you about my kids. When they graduated, I was just as happy as the parents, because I knew what they'd gone through. Studying on that freaking bus, getting to the national tournament, and literally, we're on spring break, I look up, and one of my kids reading a chemistry book. I said, Amber, what are you doing? I just love this stuff. Get the idea? Not everybody can do what they did. I got the special ones. I'd love to tell every one of them. This award's for them too, and anybody that was associated with our program. It was magical. I had a sign in my office. The journey is the reward. Awards are nice, but I already have the rewards. Thanks to my family for supporting me. Thanks for Lori. You guys lived it too. I did my best. I'm blessed. My heart's full. Thank you.
Say with Go Rockers. Holy wow. Hey, can we please get all of today's inductees back up here for a big group photo, please?
folks, please. So I want you all together, and I want you all to look into that camera right there. Please, put a big smile on it. And then everybody's gonna take photos away.
Photos. Can everyone please stay up here for just a moment?
Ramblin' Rapids down
For this group up here, I want to repeat, before you leave, I want to repeat this quote once again for everybody, specifically with this class in mind. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. Can we please have one more round of applause for the 2000?
To get everybody's attention just one more time. It's now 2 o'clock. The tailgating will open up at 3. The president's tailgate will start serving at 4 o'clock. Okay, at 4 o'clock. And now I need one more thing. I need Barb and all the women's basketball team. We're going to go into the gym because I've got one more thing that I would really like to do today. And the rest of you, I will see you all at the tailgate. Thank you for coming.
He wouldn't let me do it. That's good. It's not allowed. Hey, all right, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations, young man. Good job. Oh, great, great.
When our basketball They stuck that other one in that round.
Well, then that's later years.
So you're gonna come to jail, guys?
Okay.
We'll go back to
Yeah.
football clothes, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You dress for the Olympics. Isn't that what they did at the Olympics? No, it was. Oh, really? Good to meet you again.
Yeah.
Tears in my eyes.
I can't remember others, like, the athlete, I think it's just our team home. Maybe if it's only your team. Here's the shoulder right here, yeah, but there was more than. But I can't read out of the glasses. More than you guys did. Yeah, but all they had is that.
Because I said, Lori asked her, but you need to go to she's going to park her truck with the tracks. Oh. Figure it out outside, I get a cigarette. Hey, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Good, congratulations.
No, I gotta take up a balance. Carla. That bottom one off. Was that dirty or maybe? So I was gonna find the box to put all the signatures.
Yeah, I'll put them all up on that counter.
Okay, and then you're all set.
Let's just put all those centerpieces up on the counter and then put them in the box.
Well, that's good. I'll see you at the game, brother. I gotta go. I think I'm not even gonna see your moment. I gotta get reservations for Antelope Run.
And I was like, who's to our event? So Jay, that's Amber Jerko. Jay, yeah, that's great. Her name got back. Yeah, filling in.
We can bring my cards in here.
Okay.
Left her purse.
I'm sure they're all coming back. They're coming out the hallway talking. There's several persons. They're still here. They're just on.
That's not gonna work, sorry. I thought it was. Good thought.
Forget that that's in there.